Hi, my name is Karen. In this workout today, we're going to do a low impact HIIT style class with a portion of core at the end, and then of course, warm up and a cool down before and after the workout. So let's get started with a warm up and then we'll get into our work. So let's start off with some easy squats, and when we're gonna do a squat, let's go into a side lunge, back to the squat. So this squat, we're looking for a narrow squat so we can focus on some ankle mobility and a little bit of the hips, legs warming up. So you can choose that depth as a warm up. So one squat and your side lunge. And let's go one more each side. And here. Excellent. Okay, let's do a step squat. And we're gonna add a calf raise, and let's reach those hands up. So step squat with a calf raise. A little bit wider squat on this one. And reach those hands up. All right, so just getting warmed up here. And lift, step squat, and up. And let's go one more each side. And your last one here. Okay, excellent. So this is a stepping back lunge. And we're gonna reach it up and we're gonna do a little side bend, kind of feel that stretch, expand. A couple more here. So as we step back and reach, and up and over, let's go one more each side. Up and over. And your last one here. Excellent. Okay, let's do a little of the hamstring scoops. So up and open. So let's get a hamstring, kind of that reach down and up. Okay. One more each side. And your last one. Okay, so the last little bit of this warm up, let's sort of get the heart rate elevated a little bit more. Let's do a step hamstring curl. So we're gonna keep everything low impact today, right? So we wanna bend the knees. We don't have to be jumping or having any impact to feel like a effective workout, right? And 4, 3, 2, and 1. Okay, and now let's do a little half, not even a half squat, it's just a lift, opposite arm, opposite leg. It's like a little lift, like we're doing a mountain climber lift, and reach, and up. So maybe just a little calf raise there, and up, and up. Let's go a couple more each. One more each. And we're gonna do a low impact jump jack. So we're gonna reach as we step out. So if you need to keep your elbows bent, a little bit less in the shoulders, otherwise reach and pull, reach, pull. So a low impact jump jack. We're gonna see some of these movements and later in the workout. 3, 2, and 1. Okay. Just a little easy step touch here. Shoulder rolls. And then we can add those full arm circles. Big reach here. And one more, couple more each there. And one more each side there. Okay. And then let's just little shoulder roll, anything else that you think you need. Maybe some ankle rolls, some hip circles. Those are all really excellent movements to do, especially if you're tight through the hips and so on. Okay, so low impact HIIT. So we're gonna grab our weights, we're gonna do our strength movements, and then when we do the conditioning, it's gonna be all low impact, so don't need to worry about that. So we're gonna do simple squats, and we're gonna do a few rounds. So simple squats. We know how important squats can be, so simple. You can hold the weights wherever you like. We're gonna sit those hips back, and we're gonna get just a nice depth of those squats, whatever you feel comfortable with here. So sit those hips back. Okay, so some basic strength movements that are important, right? Part of those key strength movements that we want to do. So good leg strength. Let's go 3 more of those. And your last one. Okay, so now we're gonna keep our weights here. We're gonna do a stepping back lunge. So we're gonna get a little bit of our single leg strength. We're gonna add that shoulder press. Let's alternate. And I want you to always just remember here, this can be a nice long step back and get really low. It can be a short stride where you just sit back and up. So I'll let you choose. But as we do that stepping back or the lunge up to shoulder press. Okay, keep going here. Down and up. Okay, we're gonna go a few more each. And lift. And let's go 2 more each leg. Stepping back lunge, up to shoulder. And 1 more each side. Okay, excellent. Last one here. Okay, we're gonna keep a weight for this low impact conditioning, which is our high intensity interval training without the impact. We're gonna do a step squat. We're gonna bring that up and over. So step squat. And as we do this, it's not about the depth anymore. We're kind of just working at that pace that might get your heart rate a little bit more elevated. Step squat. Bring that weight aside, one side and the other. That's a low impact movement, right? If you feel like adding just even a little in, maybe not exactly an impact, but a little kind of a stutter step there can be a good option. And 2 more each. 1 and 2 and excellent. Okay, super. All right, so let's grab the second weight. If you need a sip of water anytime, make sure you grab it. We're gonna do our single leg tip. We're gonna keep our weights just by the side. So if you would like to keep your toe down, go ahead. Otherwise, you're gonna lift it. So that's that little bit of balance. Otherwise, toe down. You wanna feel that down the back of your leg into your glutes. So down and up. As we do that movement, okay, depends on how much focus you want on the balance, right? A few more here, always important, right, to do our single leg strength. And let's go 2 more on this leg and then we'll switch. Remember the toe down if needed. And last one. Excellent. Okay, shake it out a little bit. You should feel that around the hip and the back of the leg, not all on the ankle or foot. That's really important, right? Because we're more efficient if we can work around the hip. So let's do the same thing on the other leg. Remember, toe down if needed. And as we do that, if you are starting to feel comfortable to lift up that back foot, go for it. Balancing on that foot. If you're struggling with your balance, try to focus on something on the floor, just slightly in front of you. Let's go a few more here. Back of the leg, into the glute, and one more time here. Excellent. Okay, now let's keep our weights here. We're gonna do a little shoulder press with the overhead tricep and then back. So up and then hinge and then back. Up and over. Up and hinge. And so that a little bit of shoulders and triceps. Okay. And we'll go a few more. And then we're gonna get into our low impact conditioning. And let's go 2 more times. Up and over, and 1 more. And excellent. Okay, so let's put the weights down, our low impact conditioning here. We're gonna do those jump jacks, the low jacks, and I like all different variations of those. So reach it in front or up. And of course, if you are feeling like you can do any impact, you can, right? You can do your regular jump jacks, but ultimately, I just want you to be moving and, you know, reach and pull. Arms can be close, a little bit more bent like that, up, down. Okay, a few more here. About 5 more seconds. 3, 2, and 1. Okay, shake it out a little bit. Okay, so we're gonna do one more set of our strength with our low impact conditioning, and then we're gonna take it down to the floor for our core. All right, so let's grab our weights here, and we're gonna do a side lunge up to the bicep curl. Let's alternate this one. So all that, it's always good to have some movements that are going to the side, right? And up. So that's that side lunge with the bicep curl. So anytime we can get lower body with the upper body, that's good. Side lunge up to bicep curl. Okay, a few more. That side lunge, up bicep curl. Keep those shoulders back. And we'll go a few more here. Okay, 2 more each side. Side lunge, bicep curl. And let's go ahead and do 1 more each. And excellent, 1 more here. Okay, we're gonna do our tricep kickbacks, and we're gonna get a little bit of that single leg balance work if you like. Otherwise, foot lifted or toe down. We're just gonna have 1 leg forward. Okay, we're gonna do half with the 1 leg planted and then switch. So keep that neck neutral as we hinge. Elbows are your hinge, reach it back. 4, 3, and we'll stand. Let's get a little shoulder roll and switch our feet. Elbows up, and let's reach it. So back foot can be lifted, of course. Let's hinge from the elbows. Big reach. And let's go 4, 3, and 1. Okay, so we're gonna do one last conditioning and then we'll do a bit of core on the mat, okay? So for this conditioning, we're gonna do our side step. We're gonna do that calf raise. So again, we are not doing any impact here. And if you do feel like adding just a little jump, you could, but it's not our focus today. Up and reach. So both feet planted, down and up. So that side step and lift. So conditioning, which again, doesn't have to be impact, and lift. And we're gonna keep going a few more, and then 2 more each. And then we'll take it down to our mat for some core and lift. Okay, so let's take it down onto the mat and we're gonna go hands and knees. So if you need to double your mat to protect your knees, that's all right. So let's come down. So a few key core movements. So let's do our pointers, but we're gonna add a little extra on the glutes and working those stabilizers. So let's go opposite arm, opposite leg, and then we're gonna fan out, and then we're gonna come back in and then switch. So reach, arm and leg goes out. So do about 10 in total. So we're already at about 3. And here, reach and open. Core engaged. 5. Big reach. 6. Last, just 4 more here. Core tight, reach it, and fan open. 1 more each. And 1 more time here. Okay, so you can do a child's pose here if you like, and then we're gonna go into a plank. And again, our planks are always kind of a key core movement. So you can do, I'll use a timer for a minute here. You can do your high plank like this. You can take it to a low plank, and you can do all your variations even if they're on your knees, okay? So let's go 1 minute here, and we're gonna keep our hips level and lengthening the body. So if you are feeling any strain in your back, this is when you're just gonna drop your knees down. If you can, we stay up and pull those abs in, keeping that neck neutral. So if you find that you're dropping or your hips are lifting, we're just gonna keep it as stable as possible. 30 seconds to go. Your high or low plank, you're on your toes or your knees, just a simple 1 minute plank. And we've got 10 seconds left. Abs braced here, 5 seconds. 3, 2, and 1. Okay, we can do a little child's pose. Again, some key movements for our core. We'll lay on our back. We're gonna do some dead bugs and our glute bridges. So the dead bugs will keep our head down. If you would like to use a weight, you can. Otherwise, both hands together. When we always can start with one leg at a time. And if you are comfortable, we have both legs. Just be aware, okay? No strain, just effort. Single leg or both. And we'll go a couple more here. Breathe. Your head stays down here. And reach. Okay, we'll go 2 more each leg. Brace it. 1 more each. And excellent. Okay, so on your back still here, let's do our walking glute bridge. So we're gonna take one leg. So this leg stays close. We're not looking to reach it, right? Just keep it close. Then we switch, then we lift. So let's do a walking glute bridge, roughly 10 of these. And lift. 3, 4, lift. So as we alternate, we feel the glute, maybe a bit of hamstring, and 1 more each side. And last one. Okay, and then we'll do our cross crawls, or variation of the bicycle, and then we'll do a little bit of a stretch. So let's start with a tap and twist, tap and twist. And if you want to stop, kind of reset in between, that would be all right too. And of course, we have our regular bicycle. Just make sure that you're not pulling from your neck. So be mindful if needed, like so. Couple more each. One more each. And relax here. Okay, we're gonna roll onto the side for our quadricep stretch. So I'll just finish with a little stretch here. So the front of the thigh, just support your head this way. Get a little stretch in the front of the thigh here. This way we don't have to worry about balance too much. It's a way for us to get a good stretch in the front of the thigh. And let's go ahead and switch. I'll flip myself over here. The front of the thigh stretch. And support yourself there. That stretch in the front of the leg. And as you hold that, kind of support your neck, your head a little bit there. Okay. And then let's take it up to seated. If you can, I'd like you to stay on your mat here. So let's end with a flow mobility to stretch the hip flexor. So we're gonna get that hip flexor stretch. We can lean into it. Let's open it up the same as the front leg. And then we'll do the hamstring stretch here while we're on the mat. We're gonna shift back and we feel that hamstrings, back of the leg. We can switch legs. So get that position, get that little bit of hip flexor. You can reach it down here and then up and open. And then from here, we can lean back and get that hamstring. we can take it up onto our feet. You can take your feet wide. Let's just do a little shift side to side. And just like that. One more each. Then you can walk your feet in here. So some shoulder rolls. And end with that little bit of rotation. And a nice deep breath in, reach up your arms. You can exhale as we bring our arms down by our sides. That's a nice shoulder mobility as well. And last one. And a shoulder roll. So that is workout, our low impact HIIT style class with a bit of core. With a little bit of stretch at the end. Well done. Thanks for joining.